How you guys doing? What's up? Man, I tell you, it is a lot going on with these Hollywood celebrities relationships. I mean, I'm just so sick of it. I am so sick of it. I'm so sick to the Cassie, to the Diddy, to the DDG and Haley, okay? To the Tory Lanez and Meg the Stallion. Can y'all please just stop with these relationship and just go find God? Okay, build a relationship with God, but y'all don't want to build a relationship with God. Y'all want to be obsessive with each other to gain money, fame, or whatever else you're trying to look after. So let's start it off. If you guys can hear me great, please press that too so I know that you guys can hear me. You know, sometimes in the past I've had issues with my audio, so I'm always trying to make sure that you guys can hear me. I've had times where I was talking and I was really, really expressing myself, and guess what? Nobody could even hear me. What a waste of time. I was so frustrated. And you know, once you say it one time, you can say it again, but it's not going to hit the same. It's going to hit different, you know? So, okay, no, I can't hear you. Now it's interesting. Everybody say they can hear me except for one loser. Okay, loser. Okay, trying to play games. Trying to play games. You know what? So let's talk about it. A video came out of Cassie getting taken down by Diddy. Now we've all seen this video, but when the video first came across my For You page, I thought it was a different video. It said 15 minutes Diddy putting pause on Cassie. I said, damn, 15 minutes? 15 minutes? 15 minutes? I said, I'm surprised she's still alive. But I saw the video in its entirety, and I can give you clips. He didn't put pause on her for 15 minutes. The video that we saw, what, earlier this year or last year, it's the same video. Afterwards, you just see the security or a man with the suit come up, and he don't fight her anymore. They're just talking. You know, the man in the suit of the security trying to figure out what's going on. And then he walks Diddy to the room. But I was surprised that Cassie didn't tell the security man what happened or try to get some help. It just seemed like she didn't do anything in that video. And I was sure with the video with you all. So everybody is talking about that today. Now there's more stuff that came out about Cassie today about her getting them bumps. I knew she was gonna get them bumps. I knew she was gonna get them damn bumps, okay? Freaking off, okay? And then on top of that, after she freaking off with Diddy, she's going around freaking off with different other men. Michael B, Kid Cudi, just different random men. I mean, that is risky. Why would you even involve other people in that scandalous stuff, knowing the type of risky stuff that Diddy has you do? I don't know. But we'll talk about that later on today. And there's some more stuff that came out about Cassie I'm going to talk about later on today. On this video, I just wanted to really focus on the video that came out of Diddy putting pause on Cassie and dragging her up and down that damn hotel hallway. Okay. I will say, I think it's disgusting and horrible what Diddy did. Of course. I mean, that goes without saying. And my advice to Diddy, Diddy, and it reminded me of a pimp in a whole relationship. Clearly, you know, he treated her like trash, and clearly she was there for some benefits. She never loved Diddy. The love have nothing to do with this type of relationship. It gives transactional relationship. That's all it gets. I don't get no love. I don't get they were in a relationship. It's no romance. It gives very transactional. I know a pimp and a hoe when I see a pimp and a hoe. Hell, he got her for the freak offs. He hired her for the freak offs. He hired her to be the girlfriend or a side hoe. Okay? And that was it. It was no love. It was not a real relationship. It was a transactional relationship. And man oh man. You know, Diddy, listen, you got a problem with violence and you need to go get checked out. It's not the way to be. I understand in this society, we glorify violence. We do. When you look at the video games, when you look at the movies, when y'all listen to the music, y'all listen to music that glorify violence. And then you wonder how these men are so violent because you guys push it. You guys push it. But what he did to Cassie and what he did to anybody else putting paws and bombing people, it is wrong. It's horrible. But what do you expect from Satan's son? I'm not surprised. Are you guys surprised by thug action? Are you guys surprised that a pimp? Or you guys surprised that a thug would do something like this? Press 2 if you are so surprised that a thug or a pimp would do something like this. Press 7 if you are not surprised. You are not, I'm not surprised. I mean, I would expect that from Diddy. Everybody told her this is what's going to happen to her. You know, Diddy, she ain't the first girl that Diddy beat, you know? You know? But she decided to do so anyway. And I got a message from someone. They hit me up and they said, you know what? I think you're a little bit too tough on Cassie. You got to remember, she's 19. She was groomed, okay? And I said, well, hell, if that's the case, we need to ban 19-year-olds from dating. You know, if you're 19, don't date. Sit your ass down and focus on college, period. Now, if you're 19 and you're not going to focus on college and you want to date, you're going to end up bumping your head. And I'm not going to cuddle you. I've done that before, and I can ensure that some of you guys can attest to me cuddling a lot of people in the past. But like I said, it's a new day, it's a new dawn. I changed my mind. Okay, we are in a new administration. We are in Trump administration. Y'all better get ready and y'all better toughen up, because if you have the mindset of years and you are going into this America with that mindset, you're going to be sadly disappointed in a lot of things that are coming. You have to reshape, redefine yourself when you find yourself in a different world. We are into a different world. It's a whole new world. Okay? The laws that was yesterday are not the same laws today. The authority that was of last year and 2 years ago is not the same of today. Things have changed. When things change, you're going to have to do whatever you can to prevent yourself from any harm. Okay? So for me, it's about telling my girls and telling my men to smarten up. It's not about cuddling them, because cuddling them, that's how we got here, by cuddling them to say, oh my God, you know, you're 19. You can get in a relationship with these Satan men and you can play on the devil's playground, and you know, and nothing should happen to you, and just follow whatever you think blindly. No, I'm going to tell you, get your ass out that car. Get out. Okay? Get out that damn car. You are not going there. Stop it. Now, if you decide to go ahead and do it, when you come back crying, I give you a hug. But shit, I'm not about to do all this weeping and crying with your ass, because I told you. But most likely you're gonna go out there and you're gonna do it again and again and again and again. And it's your life, you know, and I give grace and I give room to for you to do what you want to do, because it's your life and I can't control you and I'm not here to dictate what you do. So back on that, the person that hit me, I was like, she's 19. Okay, she's 19 and she was groomed by Diddy. Okay, what does that mean? Um, and I think, and I say, you're 19, so what do you want with Diddy? Because Diddy is not attractive. I don't think he's attractive. Do you guys find Diddy attractive? Like I said, and always would say, he looks like a piece of shit. Press 1 if you find Diddy attractive. Press 7 if you don't find him attractive. What is so attractive? A 19-year old. Why would you want to be with Diddy? I don't know. I would assume from her point of view, she wants the fame that Diddy said he can offer her. She wants the money. She wants to live Hollywood. She wants that lifestyle. She wants to be Hollywood. It's not like she want to live as a saint and she want to be a Christian and she want to live for Jesus. She want to place on the devil's playground. Everybody knows, especially back in those days, hip hop was a dangerous game. Hip hop, it Diddy, what did it promote? It drugs, fornication, sex, more sex, more violence. And I guess she was attracted to that. And a lot of you all would say, well, hell, you know, you're young, you're attracted to that. Well, everybody's not attracted to that type of darkness. And I want to know, when you guys were 18, 19, were you attracted to that type of darkness? Did you want to be around the drug dealers and I guess the thugs that whoop women asses? I would think, hell, if he whooping Michelle and Keisha ass, I'm next. Hell, I don't want to get beat. Okay, I want to get treated like a princess. And those men will never treat you like a princess, and we all know that. They have a pimp hoe mentality, almost like Blueface. You guys know Krishan Rock and Blueface. We talked about them. Blueface treat his girls like whores, and he is the pimp. And that is the lifestyle that certain people are attracted to. Because they okay with them niggas going upside their head and treating them like shit as long as them niggas don't leave them. But once the man leaves them and start treating other women better than them, then a lot of times they will cry victim, like we have seen Krishan done plenty of times. But, I don't know. Hell, I think it's wrong. And I feel like if you are a man to the men out there, you are still doing a crime. Even though she keeps coming back like flies to shit. She keeps coming back. You keep on whooping her ass. She keep on coming back. Men, you have to realize you are committing a crime, okay? Even if she say she not gonna call them people on you, she ain't with them cops, she can change her mind anytime. So stop. If you have to resort to yelling at a girl, if you have to resort to cussing her out, just leave her alone. You have to be smart too. You have to distance yourself. But sometimes it's almost like both of you guys like it. These men like beating on these bitches, and the bitches like getting beat on by these men. Because you guys all have choices to move away and stay away. But because your emotions, I don't know, you just attracted to that shit like flies on shit. So, I had a talk with them and I said, well, shit, my response, well, you need to start protesting, having a ban on 19-year-olds, since 19-year-olds, they are easily to be manipulated when it comes to these relationships. And, this is not going to be the first or the last time that a man will manipulate a 19-year-old or a woman to manipulate a 19-year-old. So I say, well, you really need to try to talk to Congress and the government. And what are you doing to try to ban 19-year-olds from dating? Shit, y'all need to raise that shit to 25. But I know y'all not going to do it. Y'all just be talking shit like y'all always do. Okay? All right, so I'm looking here because I got more to say. Kavan said when she was 19, she was so naive. My mother was so strict. Once I went to college at 18, I was partying. Okay. Yeah, all right. Well, when I was 19, 18, I didn't want a relationship. I didn't want to be tied down by anybody. I just wanted to live my best life and I just didn't want to be associated. However, I did have men to try to approach me and they tried to wow me. And I had a guy that did wow me when I was 19, 20. But my story was not like hers or anyone else's. I didn't get beat. I didn't get yelled or cussed out because that is something I don't tolerate. And I have boundaries and I have standards. At a young age, I knew I was not going to tolerate certain things and I wanted to stay true to myself. And I feel like if I can't stay true to myself, then how can I expect anybody else to respect me when I can't stay true to my own boundaries and my own promises that I set for myself, even at 19, 18 years old, So everybody is built differently. I know some people that's probably 30 and 40s that get manipulated in their 40s and 50s. I really don't think it has to do so much about an age. I really think it has to do about a personality and who they are. And some people suffer from mental illness. And because they said that she suffers from Stockholm, I can't say that word, but people are easily manipulated. I feel like a 19-year-old that's easy to be manipulated oftentimes can be manipulated at 30 and 40 years old because I don't know, I just feel like that's just how they are. I feel like a 19-year-old that's a thief probably gonna be a thief when they 40. I feel like a person that's an abusive if he's 20-year-old, if he 20 hitting on bitches, I think when he 40 and 50, he's still gonna be hitting on bitches or doing something abusive. Hell, I don't think they change much. I think it's only probably a small percent of people that really change. But I think most people really stay the same. I think they do something a little bit different. They disguise, they bullshit, but I still think they into what they've been into. That's just my thoughts about it. All right, so going here, I will put the video. I'm not gonna put the whole video up here, but I saw on this other YouTuber person, and you guys all seen the video, right? Press 10 if you all have seen that video. But I will press it here because when they said 15 minutes, I really thought Homegirl was getting dragged for 15 minutes straight. All right, so this is the video. I cannot play the parts where he was dragging her and hitting her, but y'all all seen that. We all seen that part. It's nothing more after that. So the rest of the stuff, the rest of the 15 minutes, you see this guy right here. I don't know who he is, and you see Cassie in a hoodie. Cassie is in a hoodie at the end, and you see this white Latino guy. I don't know if I'm just gonna call him white because he ain't black. You see the white guy right here. Okay, so the rest of the video footage is pretty much, Cassie and that white guy, they talking. I don't know what they talking about. I would think she'd be like, help, get me out of here. I would think she'd be hugging that man, be like, get me out of here. He been hitting and abusing me. But maybe he knows, did he see the video footage and he knows about it? And if he know about this and he didn't do nothing to help, I think he should get locked up too. But I'm not sure about his situation. And I think, is this the guy that was in the court, room? Is this the guy that recorded? It was a guy that worked there. He said he didn't take the video footage from the hotel, but he took his phone out and he recorded the situation of Cassie putting paws on Diddy. He recorded it. So I think is he recording this too? This angle. I'm assuming he recorded this too because somebody at the hotel is looking at surveillance camera and take their phone out and recording all of this. So I'm assuming whoever recorded this 15-minute length. And when we came out about it, it was just shortened to a certain period. So here it is. Because I sure wanted to see this 15-minute beating. All right, so here it is. So you guys see, this is the 15 minutes. This is Diddy with no clothes on, which is just so gross. So here we go. Here we go. This is the guy talking. This is Cassie going back into that room. Why is she going back into that damn room? You couldn't pay me to go back in that room, but she went back into the room. I don't know why she went back in that damn room. But she went back into the room after Diddy put paws on her. So here it is. This is just them. I don't know what he's doing. He's just out here in the hallway going back and forth with no damn clothes on. He should get arrested for having no clothes on. Okay, so that is the 15 minutes, just in case you guys were wondering, because I know I was wondering. I said, he beat her for 15 minutes. Let me see this. Because that's how it was presented to me on my For You page. So I really wanted to get into it. So, no, he didn't beat her for 15 minutes. It's just a video of the situation. And after that beat down, it's just that white man with the suit coming to talk to Diddy. And Cassie was talking to the white man in the suit. And then they went all back into the room where the freak off was happening. Okay, so yeah. What do you guys make of that? What do you guys make of that right there? Okay, so I'm looking here. I'm going to read some of you guys' comments to go back and forth with you. It says he could have leaked that decades ago if he wanted to. I do agree. He could have leaked it decades ago, but he didn't want to do random because he was getting some money from it. He benefited off of this. All these people, I feel, that want to be Hollywood, they are scammers and schemers, and they do whatever they can to play on the devil's playground. I really believe that. Okay. And I feel like the security guy who recorded it, he benefited from keeping it hush hush. All right. I think they said Diddy's only offered up $25K or $50K to keep it hidden. I would have laughed so loud in his face and been like, that's it. Well, yeah, I guess people wanted more money. I think Diddy would have been I think Diddy would have been better off this coming out back in the day. Okay. I think it would have been better out. It coming out back in the day for him trying to hold this, and now this is happening in the Me Too movement. It does him no good. I think he should have came out earlier in the years and say, "Hey, I got a problem hitting no hoes. I really got a problem." And like I said before, men, if you have issues with women, and you feel like you gotta yell, if you feel like you have to yell at a girl, please cut her off. I don't give a damn if she want to be so with you. She talking about I love you, she crying. I don't give a fuck if the whole crying. Cut her ass off. Okay, because it's gonna be one day you gonna make a mistake, or you gonna hit her intentionally, and she gonna call them popos on your ass, and you gonna get locked up forever. So stop. Find someone that's going to be obedient. If that's what you're looking for, that's going to be submissive. A girl that's going back and forth with you and argumentative with you, clearly that's not somebody you want if you feel like you got to yell at her and put hands on her. So get you one of those and stop with the bull crap and get out your feelings. If you like her so much, stop being in your feelings. Be logical. Men shouldn't be so emotional anyway. Stop being so attached to these girls, and you feel like you have to control them and hit on them to control them. Stop it. Get out of your feelings. Man up. Think logical. Okay? It's just as simple as that. But Diddy, he's very emotional because he's dealing with a lot of femininity. All that to me, you want to hit on women, you want to control, those are feminine traits. Even though traditionally men have always hit on women and have always controlled women, and that was law for men to do so. So that is somewhat of a contradiction. It's like, okay, traditionally men were very masculine, but they had the right to control women and hit on women because women have always seemed to be, second class, or, they were here for men to do whatever. And a lot of these countries and a lot of these religions push that ideology. I don't agree with that, but that's what it is. But then again, I do feel like if you're so into your emotions and you're so out of line, you have to put hands on a person and you become obsessed with a person. To me, I see that as a feminine trait. I don't think that is I don't think that's logical at all. I really don't. So there's that. So let me read some more of you guys' comments. Make sure you guys like the video. It says they probably grew up seeing their father beat their mother. Now, it's interesting that you bring up parents, because I do feel like if you're 19 and it goes to you guys, because a lot of y'all feel like a 19-year-old is easy to be manipulated, right? Press one if you feel like a 19-year-old girl is easy to be manipulated. A lot of you guys agree. And I feel like that's where her father comes in. And if her father is not there to guide her in the direction, that means her father has failed her. Her father has failed her. Her father has failed her. And that girl will grow up to have daddy issues. And maybe Cassie was dealing with that, And just because she's dealing with daddy issues, don't mean that people going to have sympathy for her or really give a damn. That's something she has to deal with. When you have disorders and you're dealing with Stockholm syndrome, when you're dealing with daddy issues, it is no one else's job to make sure you okay. You're going to have to do the work. If you notice or you think, damn, I might have Stockholm syndrome, you need to go to therapy. You need to do the work to figure it out and to try to do whatever programs you can to stop this for your benefit in the future. It's nobody else's responsibility. If you have daddy issues, it's your job to dig deep or to go see a therapist to figure out how can I overcome. It's nobody issues. Y'all got daddy issues. Y'all got Stockholm issues. You're getting in these relationships. You just jump in this relationship and that relationship. And that is just going to do no service at all. You're going to mess up that person's life and you're going to mess up your life. And I think that's very selfish. I think that people are so selfish with jumping in these relationships knowing Their mindset is messed up, knowing that these men that they get with is messed up too. Y'all want to be messed up together. Versus going and get the help to self care yourself and make sure you are mentally stable and whole before adding someone else a part of your situation. But that's too much work, and most of you all will not do that. It's just not going to happen. So I can save that. I can save that. All right. So Island Girl says that you're 19. You're in high school. You're still immature. And that's why a 19-year-old should not be in these relationships. A 19-year-old should not be married. And society have told 19-year-olds to sit down, focus on college and your books. But Island Girl, when a 19-year-old girl want to do what she wants to do, she's going to bump her head and she have to pick herself up. You know, if she have a village that's going to help her, that's great. But at the end of the day, she is going to have to want to do the work. I have seen it time and time again where a 19-year-old bump their head, then they have the village and they keep bumping their head and they grow up with this crutch feeling like anytime I bump my head, I'm always going to depend on people to help bring me up, and it never changes. They have to want to do the work themselves in the inside, and nobody can do that work but that person. Okay? So that's my stance on that. Mm-hmm. What has society told older men? Society about what? Society tells older men a whole bunch of stuff, but about what? And you have to remember too, we are in a transition, meaning that we are in a Trump administration. You guys know everything is going to be torn down and rebuilt. So society's meaning, society norms are going to change. Do you guys realize that? Press 7 if you realize society norms will be changing, okay? What was acceptable in 2024 might not, will not be acceptable in 2026. Do you get that in America? I just need you guys to understand that. Okay, and norms have always changed. When I was growing up, the norms of society was totally different than today. We live in a society where things are always changing. So you have to adjust to the change. You know, some people don't and they get ran over. You know, so you just have to be mindful. So I'm sure older men were told different back 20, 30, 40 years ago than older men are told today. And I think right now we are in a transition. So that's why you're hearing so many things. You're hearing this, then you're hearing that, and it's totally opposite. And it's like, which way to go? Okay. But sure enough, they will make it clear in a couple of years to a month. It's going to be crystal clear what way you should go in this society. All right. Gigi, everything out of control, not God, damn it. Okay. All right. So also dealing with this, I want to read some of the comments here. Now, a lot of times when I read comments, the comments a lot of times will be one-sided depending on what platform I go to. And that's what I hate about the algorithm. I hate the algorithm because I don't get to see a realistic approach. I only get to see people that follow me, what they like. And a lot of times people that follow me, I don't like what they like. So and then when I look at the comments, I'll be looking at what other people like, and I'm like, I don't agree with that. You know what I mean? But I can't stand that in the algorithm. It's like I'm getting all this stuff on my For You page that I'm not interested in, but because certain people follow me, or I might follow a particular person, they're sending me their shit. And I'm like, can I like somebody? Can I follow somebody without following everything that they're into? I mean, but that's just how the algorithm is set up. I just don't like it. Okay. So I'm looking here in the comments section, and this is what certain people are saying. They're saying 15 minutes of getting beat by a grown man has to feel like days. I feel so sorry for her. Yeah, I don't feel like anybody should get beat, but fights happen all the time. And I say fights happen all the time to say that this is not something out of the norm. I do feel like people should not be violent, but how can we really get there? How can we get to a society that's not violent in America where we uplift violence so much? Um, I think it's I think it's not realistic. Honestly, I just don't think it's realistic. But what do I know? What do you guys think? Do you guys think America is a very violent country? Do you guys think that social media, that we indulge in violence when it comes to movies, when it comes to music, that we indulge in violence a lot? Press 7 if you agree that we do indulge in violence. I mean, when you look at the stats about domestic violence, it's high. Hell, not even domestic violence. When I go to Facebook and my For You page or Twitter, all I see is women fighting women. All I see the fights. When you go to those baddies clubs, hell, you see fights that are worse than Diddy beating on Cassie. I have seen fights on that Zeus network on that baddies that's worse than Diddy beating on Cassie. But you guys subscribe to this, you uplift this, you uplift it. So it's like 1 minute you say one thing, and then in 2 minutes you go to another. That's why I really don't play the games with you all. It's like if you against violence, be against violence. Let your yes be your yes and your no be your no. But the same people will be the same people that subscribing to baddies watching girls get jumped. And when they get jumped on that and then they cry, well, you signed up for it. You signed up for it. A girl on Baddie, well, I was manipulated. I just want to, well, that's what you get. I'm not playing with y'all. Okay? Y'all are crazy. Okay? Y'all are crazy. So I'm looking here in our comment section. I'm just gonna pick. When I select titles or comments to reply to, is really be random. Okay, it's random as hell. I don't know about America because I'm from South Africa and it's very violent. Well, let me tell you something, South Africa. America is right behind y'all. Honestly, I just think the world is very violent. Honestly, I think humans are very violent. Is it natural for humans to be violent? I think so. Animals are violent, but they're violent because they need to survive and they kill each other to survive because that's how they get their food and they're very territorial. I mean, but I feel like humans, you all take each other out and have nothing to do with survival. I mean, you guys do this and it has nothing to do with survival. I mean, because you guys kill the animals. Hell, now y'all want to kill each other. Okay. And you justify it with religion. You justify it, whatever. But I will tell you this, and I can promise you this, it will get worse. It will get worse. You haven't seen nothing yet. Violence will get worse. Mark my words. It's the reason why everybody got that pow pow. It's the reason why they don't want to take pow pows away from citizens in America because they know a day is coming. A day is coming. Shit, y'all already know. Hell, but y'all act so innocent. Oh my God, did you see what they did? That is so wrong. That is so wrong. Nobody cares. You hear all the violence and all the bombing they doing? I mean, people care, but what they care gonna do? If I'm getting destroyed, you caring about it. If you ain't doing nothing to stop it and doing some action, all you doing is caring and talking. I mean, talking might help. Do caring help? It might when you protest. Do it help? Possibly. I think pro. Well, this is what I saw. Right, I saw this show, and it has some politics in it, and it was a group of protesters that came out, and they were like they wanted this guy to get the death penalty. Okay, because this guy, he have done so horrible stuff to a lot of religious Catholics. So they wanted him to get the death penalty, but in that state, they didn't have the death penalty then. So the governor, he felt that he had to put back the death penalty so he can get reelected. So the governor, he did it to make the people happy so he can get reelected. So I think in those situations, if people do cry out and the person in power needs their support, then they'll do an exchange or a transaction. I think a lot of things is really based on transactional. You give me something, I give you something. The people wanted the guy to die for what he did to the Catholics, and the governor at that time wanted to be reelected. So they did a transactional thing. You know what I mean? So that's how that works. I feel okay. So and that's just the reality of it. Okay, Mr. Brown donated $5. Thank you so much, Mr. Brown. It says IMO, the same violence in South Africa is the same violence in America. These white apartheid South Africans who came are about to FAFO. Yep. Well, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. So I can tell you all that. So going back here, I'm just reading the comments about the Cassie and Diddy video that came out for another time because everything we seen, it's not new. Okay. So it says there's still goofies like Boosie stepping for Diddy. So let's talk about that. It's still goofies for like Boosie stepping for Diddy. Well, it's going to be a lot of people. Everybody is not a monolith. Everybody does not agree with you, and nobody will. A lot of people won't agree with you. And I feel like it's like, if you don't agree with me, then I don't know, you're just going to get emotional. You're just going to get mad about it. And it's like, okay, everything around us is somebody going to disagree with. I mean, when it comes to the computers, when it comes to internet, someone disagreed. Someone said before internet came to America or everywhere else, someone said, I disagree. We should ban the internet. It is too dangerous. Somebody have said that. You're gonna always have somebody that's gonna oppose, even if it's something that you really believe in. Some people believe in God. Some people don't believe in your God. And you may say, well, that's the craziest things. How could you not? I think it's crazy to feel like everybody believed like you. I think that's the most craziest part. I think that's the most self-centered part, when you really go around feeling that nobody is going to oppose any of your thoughts. When you really feel like what I feel, everybody should feel and everybody should understand. No, that's why communication is key. You have to persuade, or you have to communicate how you feel or your point of view so other people can understand where you're coming from. But to sit there and just assume that we saw the same movie or we saw the same situation, that everybody should just get it, I think that's ludicrous right there. And I think with that type of mindset, it's like you don't have to fight for people to understand you. You don't have to fight for people to get where you're coming from. You will lose every time when you have that arrogance about yourself. I've seen it in courtrooms. What was it? The Nicholson's case. Do you guys know about the Nicholson case? It was a young black guy. It was in Memphis. I guess they said he ran past the red light, and it was like five black cops. They put paws on him, and he lost. They were found not guilty, and a lot of people felt that the Nicholson, the people that was fighting for him, they were so arrogant because they felt that the video was just going to tell it all. They didn't have to work to explain. They didn't have to work to share their side or to communicate how they really felt. And that ended up doing them a disservice because they just relied on the video. Do you guys seen that? Right? So you have to communicate, and you have to work on communicating your side so people can understand where you're coming from. You can't assume that people do, because it would do you a disservice every single time. All right. So, and then there are people that with Boosie that will agree with Boosie, you know? So it says women really in the comments defending this. So it seems like, and on my Instagram is very, very liberal, okay? Because I have a lot of liberals following me. So I'm not going to get both sides. I really like listening to both sides of the story. I like to see the left or the right. I understand the algorithm, and most people, they just want to hear one sided stuff, you know? I'm balanced. I'm a Libra. What can I say? But people are upset that it seems like these comments that I'm reading, they are upset that people don't see it like they see it. But instead of saying women are really in the comments defending this, why don't you express how you feel about it so that when a woman that does defend it, she can run across your comment and try to understand where you're coming from. But like again, you think because you put a video out that everybody's going to see it like you, and you're only doing yourself a disservice when you don't properly communicate. Okay? So I'm reading these comments. She left a freak off, got dragged, beat for 15 minutes. Okay, but that's a lie. She didn't get beat for 15 minutes. Okay, that is what they push on the video. But you guys saw the video I put up here. It was not a 15-minute beat down, but she did get beat nonetheless. But it was not 15 minutes. And when you're trying to get people to trust you and believe in you, I think it's very important to be honest with it versus putting 50 on 10. When you put 50 on 10, they're going to discredit you at the door and be like, no, it was not 15 minutes. You don't know what you're talking about. So I'm just going to disclose anything that you have to say. Just like some of y'all do with the videos I react to. I react to some of these videos on social media out here because some of you guys like those type of reactions. And a lot of times you see a lot of lies up in them videos. Not all of it is lies, but there's a lot of lies and there's some lies. And that would turn people off to the point it was like, I can't trust it, so I don't want to listen to it anymore. So when you're trying to win an argument or want people to say, it's important not to put 50 on 10 and just to be real with it. So they said she got dragged and beat for 15 minutes. Yet I'm still reading comments saying she wanted to be there and she could have left. So, like I said before, these comments that I'm reading are all going to be one-sided because of the Instagram algorithm, and majority of people that follow me are, more certain way. Okay. But what I will say, I missed your reaction videos. Well, if you miss them, you don't support them. I got some reaction videos that I reacted to with a still picture yesterday, 2 days ago, and the views are low. So if you really like that type of stuff, go to the videos. It's always going to be in an upload. I really don't really react to live videos. Sometimes I might, but most times I won't. I just be straight talking. So go and support it. Shit. So a lot of people, and I want to talk from the other side because they keep saying in these comments, a lot of people say she wanted to be there. How do I feel about it? I do feel like she did want to be there because when I played the 15-minute video, she did not leave when she could have. In the beginning, it showed her, and let's put it up here so you guys can see what I'm talking about, okay? So I'm going to put this video up here. And so the first beginning is her getting hit by Diddy, right? But when we fast forward in a couple of minutes, we see this white man here, and she could have really asked him to escort me out. I want to leave. I didn't see this white man holding her down, dragging her into the room. She went back into the room willingly. Did I make this up? I'm asking, do you see this white man dragging Cassie back into the room? Now, she just wanted to leave physically, but now she goes back. Okay. So when we go here, we fast forward. There is Cassie. We're going faster, and this is the white guy. You see the white guy right there. We're moving on. Okay, we're moving. This is a white guy in the suit. All right, so we're moving, and you see Cassie. We're moving, we're moving, we're moving. Ain't nothing there. All right, so you see the guy in the suit back here, and then you see Diddy in front of him. And where is Cassie at? I guess Cassie is still in the hallway. Shit, when man, you see Puff Daddy and that white guy in the suit, they back there talking. She leave now, leave now, leave now, leave now. Give me that same energy you had. You know what I mean? But she didn't have that energy. I don't know if Diddy hit her so bad she was crippled, but even then, if I'm crippled, I'm still gonna try to leave. Hell, I'm leaving. Okay. But let's move on. Let me keep going here. So that is Cassie. So you see Cassie right there with the hoodie, and it looks like she's going towards Diddy. And this is after the beatdown. So possibly the people feel this way because she's not running for her life. She's not running for her life. You know, she's going back into that situation. All right. So going here, and there she goes. She went back, I guess, down there into the room. All right. So this is the 15-minute video that everybody is referring to. Okay. So that's that. All right. So what are your thoughts about that? Let's talk about it. It says she may have gone back into the room to get her purse and belongings. When you are running for your life, F your purse, F your belongings. I don't want that shit. If my house is burning up, I'm not going back for my purse or my belongings. Are you dumb? I'm leaving because this is a life and death situation. And then this has happened back, what, 2016? She was still dealing with this man after this situation. So that too, while people are using common sense and they say it's not adding up, clearly she benefited something like shit, like flies on shit. Flies keep on coming to shit for a benefit. You know what I mean? And I feel that this was a pimp hoe transaction. I think that Diddy pimped her out like a hoe, and I think her position was a hoe. Her position was not a girlfriend, was not a wife. That relationship to me, it didn't read like that. It read like a pimp and a hoe. That's what it reads to me. All right, so, huh. All right, and I'm reading here and end up like Kid Cudi. She left, ran to him, and he blew up his truck. Now, this is my thing with that. If I'm dealing with a man that treat me like Diddy, I wouldn't want to be with no man no more. I would think it's enough being with men. Now, why do you think this is risky for a girl to be doing risky activities? You know you got that shit. You know it's a big possibility you got that shit. But then you want to involve another man into that shit? I think that's selfish. I think you shouldn't be thinking about no man, but that's the problem with you because you always thinking about a man, trying to get back into man. Hell, hell, no, 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 no new dicks, no new dicks. Okay, no, 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 no. And when she involved Kid Cudi, it just made the situation worse. And I'm thinking she will put him in a risk because she's gonna give him that stuff that Diddy gave her, but it even gave Kid Cudi more of a risk because now he's in harm's way. Now he's in harm's way. It's like, Cassie, you know you're dealing with a monster and the monster is coming. Why would you involve somebody else to get hurt by the monsters that's after you? I think that is selfish. I think that what could she have done in that situation? I would not involve anybody else in my shit. I would find a way to get a pow and take Diddy out of here. If it's life or death, it's either me or you. Nigga, it's either me or you. It's either me or you. Hell, I'm not talking about Kid Cudi about doing no freak off. I'm like, Kid Cudi, can you take this nigga out of here for me? I would have had all that money that Diddy was giving me, and I would find a hitter. It's always a hitter. And Diddy had a lot of enemies. Hell, I would get in bed with one of Diddy enemies, and I would say, hey, let's do that. But I feel like she did that with this court case. I feel like that Cassie did team up with Diddy enemy, which is the people of Sirach, and they had the means to destroy him. And I think that this is all revenge. I think Cassie is doing all this to get her revenge and to take him down and to take him for all the money he got. And I don't blame her for that. Go ahead, do your money. Let the last man stand. I don't give a damn. So I do feel like eventually she did that. I would have did that in the beginning, but she finally did it. So now she's getting her revenge. Payback is a motherfucker, right? So that's how I feel about that. Uh-huh. She was an abused woman. If you never been abused, then it just wouldn't have should have at this point. Well, people have been abused. I've been in a situation and all I took for one time. Okay? One time. Hell no. Okay? And every abused victim is going to do things differently. And I want to know, have you all been abused? Press one if you've been abused. Okay? Press one if you've been abused. Press one. And I want to know, for those that have been abused, that you press one. Could you still be with the same man that has been with other men that is zesty? Huh? And that will want to poo poo and pee on you? Huh? If you could still be with a man and you think that you will still be locked up in a man after you know he been with other men up in his donut hole, and he want to boo boo and pee on you, press 10 if you know you will still be with that man and you have respect because you're scared of him, even though you have seen him and heard of him been with other men and he want to boo boo and pee on you. Huh? Huh? Press 10 if you still think that you would be scared that you would still tolerate that. I know so many girls, they will tolerate a man beating on them, but once they know that he's gay, they won't tolerate that. They will pick up and run. When they find out that man is tooting that ass up, but when a man beat on them, they stay around. But let his ass be gay. Let that discovery, she out like a motherfucker. Now some will stay after they man is gay. Some will stay. Some will stay, but a lot of them will go. But some will stay. But then, am I wrong? Hell, it's a lot of download men out here. Do they girl know? They say they don't know, but I be feeling like they knowing. I feel like they know. I feel like they know. And then, if that's the case, then that means that a lot of girls are very naive and just need to leave these men alone. At this point, just leave these men alone for your own safety. Leave these men alone. Leave these men alone. Leave these men alone. Leave these men alone. Leave a man alone. But they can't do that. They can't do that. So that's that on that. All right. So let me look and see some. So we have women that said absolutely not. No way. That can never happen. Nope. I would not. Hell no. All right. So you do have women here that possibly have been abused in a relationship before, but they have their limits. Okay. They have their limits. So that's that on that. Everybody ain't the same. Okay. Gigi, most women are abused, have low self-esteem, and they don't feel like they can get out or deserve better. Well, that means their father have failed them. Their parents have done a horrible job instilling self-esteem in those individuals. And when that happens, who's at fault for that? If you know you are dealing with low self-esteem, the last thing you want to do is get with a man hoping that he will build your self confidence up. And I feel like a lot of people that have low self esteem and feel like nobody loved them, they attach themselves to people. And I think that you do yourself no service by doing so. The best thing to do is go get some help and get some therapy and to try to figure out why you have low self esteem. Most likely it's deal with your parents or how you grew up, and try to get some help before you get involved in a relationship that can destroy you. But we tell them this all the time: go get some help because your mentality is not right. Your mindset is effed up and it's going to destroy you when you get in these relationships. But they don't listen. They want to get with a man hoping that he's going to be this magical wand that's going to build their self esteem up. And that is the wrong way to go. If he can build it up, he can destroy it. All right. We got another big thank you to Mr. Brown. Donated $10. Thank you. Lucifer used the power of his status and position to influence 1/3 of the angels of heaven right down to hell with him. Men like Diddy are the devil. Yeah, but Michael Brown, uh, I don't think God told the angels that went down to heaven and say, "Hey," I mean, I don't. God did not tell the angels that follow Satan. Did God say, "Well, you guys, I'm going to forgive you all because you've been manipulated. You've been influenced. Satan groomed you all. So therefore, I'm going to give you grace. I'm going to bring you back to heaven because Satan groomed you. He manipulated you and you did what he did because you were manipulated and you were scared of Satan." God is not hearing about that. No, 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 no. If you are grown manipulated, you still have to be accountable. If I was grown and manipulated to take your mama out of here, I didn't want to do it, but my boyfriend that has so much control over me, he told me to commit the crime. So just leave me out of it. You still should be accountable. But in this society, y'all don't shame, y'all don't judge, y'all don't want to have no accountability, you know? And I just don't think that's mentality is going to fly in this new world that we are entering. I think in this new world we're entering, they're going to become more strict. Did you guys hear that they are going to ban the 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 corn? You know what I mean by corn. I can't say the word, but they are talking about banning corn from America. Yeah, they are going to be real, real strict coming in the future. Okay, so that's how that's going to go. Uh huh. All right. It says, no misunderstanding my comment. Being beat will cause low self esteem, nothing on the parents. What has a lot to do with the parents because the parents instill in the kids self esteem, low self esteem. People with low self esteem, a lot of it comes from their childhood. So it does stems from the parents. And a lot of these parents, they do fail their daughters. A lot of these fathers, they do fail their daughters. And the parents are horrible. The parents are horrible. That's why you have so many people, they don't have no boundaries, they don't have no standards because the parents did not help instill principles within these child. So these kids are messed up, and it stems from their parents. Their parents failed them. The parents did not protect them. Mm-mm. All right. People will still find a way to do and watch corn. Well, I don't know, but I wouldn't take that chances in this administration. I wouldn't take those chances because your ass may end up deported. So I wouldn't take those chances. And if you are deported mistakenly, it's nothing they're gonna do about it. Okay. I wouldn't take those chances. Okay. Um They said, "Wait, please leave the corn alone." Well, look it up. It's already on the table. It's already in the works. So it might not pass right now, but it definitely will pass. A lot of times when hit the table, they are giving you a preview of what's to come. So they have been talking about, and I knew they were going to wipe corn out, because you guys remember when Candace Owens, she talked about corn, and a lot of people was jumping on that bandwagon. It was a couple of months ago. And a lot of conservative speakers, they will forewarn you what's to come. Like when you hear certain people talk about stuff like politics, they're giving you a hint what's to come. They always give you a warning. Everything that's passed, it was already warned. Y'all all saw the signs. You all saw the signs. But you want to ignore the signs, like, and then when it comes, then you in jail for watching corn and you don't understand. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, good vibes. I think he should testify. I would like to watch that. I know that it's hard to recall her story, especially being 8 months pregnant. Mm. I had a horrible toxic parent. She had very low self-esteem. Yeah. Sorry, this phone and screen is way too small. I can't see much of everything. Okay. You talking about with the video? Well, I'm so sorry you couldn't see much of everything, but that's the video that they have out here. So I can read some more comments from a different website on Instagram, but it doesn't matter because of my Instagram and people that follow me are more liberal. So therefore, I'm only going to see comments that goes their way, if that makes sense. And I'm not liberal and I'm not conservative. I'm somewhere in the middle, or I do what I want to do, but I'm not extreme left or right. So the algorithm just shoots my ass on this way and I can't stand it. Okay. But I'm gonna read some of this from a different site, but I feel like it's gonna be the same type of people. It says everyone commenting that she's not in the hurry probably don't remember she's on substance. See, there it is again. I mean, these comments that I'm reading, it's the same type of comments where you have people going against people that don't feel sorry for Cassie. So they're saying, everybody in the comments, you guys have to remember she's on substance. That's why she's not in a hurry. Because I guess people are like, she's not in a hurry. She's not leaving out of there, you know. But I thought in the beginning didn't she run, or maybe she not. I'm not sure, but that is something to consider, that they're saying that she's on some type of substance. And if she's on some type of substance, don't that white man with the suit, he would know she's on some type of substance. I think that would raise red flags. If I see a girl and she seems like she's out of it, and I know he saw the video camera footage, he should have just arrested Diddy at the spot. I don't understand. Why didn't he arrest Diddy at the spot? And I don't know. And I definitely have a warning to people that plan to get married. Press 7 if you plan to get married. Yeah. All right. So let me tell you guys this. They are going to make America great again. So back in the day, when a husband beat on a wife, nothing the police could do about it. Okay. You cannot sue. You can't do nothing. They would just say, walk out or you figure it out, because they don't want to get involved in family matters. So you guys are so rushed to get into marriage. And I don't understand. I really don't. I don't understand that. Okay, you go to men like they're the solution, but at the same time, they're the fucking biggest problem. Which one is it? Is it the problem or the solution? Which one is it? It can't be both. It can't be both. Are they the problem or they're the solution? But anyway, I know I spazzed out, right? I honestly think that you all, certain girls, you need to have a conversation about politics before getting in bed with men. You need to know their ideology and their belief. And if your beliefs and your ideology, what you think on women and men relationships, what do you think on norms, what you think on LGBT issues, what you think about all these society situations, women, if you don't agree with this man ways or ideas, don't lay on your back getting a kid and then regretting it and then he beating your ass when he already told you his beliefs and what it was. I don't understand that. But okay, and you cannot change anybody. You can't change, especially a man. You can't change no man. You can't change a man. You can't change a man. You change a grown ape? Can you change a grown lion and make the lion like a pet, house pet? It's impossible. They might lie. Hello? They're going to do that. But if you want to prevent danger from happening to you, then you're going to have to move smarter. Okay? Because at the end of the day, most likely in a regular scenario, you're going to lose more. But in this scenario, Cassie, she did get with Diddy enemy. I do feel like Cassie got with Diddy higher up enemy, the one that went Ciroc. And they are using Cassie as the face to take Diddy down. And I think that was a smart business move on her to do. And I know people are saying, she's 8 months is gonna be hard, but Cassie, she seems to be tough. She is a tough cookie. She's been getting beat. I can't even say that. I can't even say she got beat for 11 years because did she really? I had the mindset that she was stuck in them tunnels in the basement, drugged up every day. That was not the case. She was in an open relationship. She had men come in and out of her private bed, okay? While Diddy was doing what he wanted to do and she was doing what she wanted to do. She was doing all this weird, freaky stuff because she was competing against other women for Diddy's attention. She wanted to be Diddy's number one hoe. Don't you know, like pimps and hoes, and you got a hoe and it's a bottom bitch? Have y'all ever seen a bottom hoe bitch? Press 7 if you know how a bottom hoe bitch is. Let me tell you, a bottom hoe bitch is very territorial and she don't want anybody to come to her position. And she would do a lot of crazy stuff to get that position. She want to keep her position. She don't ever want it to be a day where Diddy or her pimp like don't want to talk to her or treat her, you know what I mean? She's always gonna fight for that position. And she gonna take any ass whooping, it don't matter. And she gonna keep doing it. That's what this reminds me of, a pimp and a bottom bitch. Yeah. So, and like I said before, she was living a luxury lifestyle. I thought that she was stuck in a basement. She was not stuck in them damn tunnels. That's what they kept telling me. She was stuck in them tunnels. She ain't stuck in them tunnels. She said she had her own place and it came out of her mouth. She said she was insanely jealous. But, mm-mm-mm. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Okay, so here's she was digging through bags before pressing the button. That's not trying to get away. Okay, I don't know what that's about. She should have had a pile in that shit. I mean, she's getting money. Why didn't she get a pile? And why didn't she snake Diddy? Why didn't she? Why did she? Why? I don't know why she didn't do it. Um, for all the people to swear they will have taken the stairs, so you want to get your beat, then push down the stairs. All right, so people are arguing. Some people believe it, some people don't. So it looked like it's just going to be a split because every comments I'm reading, it's just a split. So I'm just going to stick with you guys before I end this live. So I want to hear what you guys have to say. It's He might get off. I don't think they are proving he was diabolically criminal, Unity. Um, we have to remember that Cassie was young when she got with Diddy, 19, right? Okay, Diddy in the first and only in the time real romantic relationship or romance with abuser. But Brown, this was not a romantic relationship. It was nothing romantic about this relationship, Brown. She never had feelings for Diddy, Brown. She saw Diddy as a person that can give her some dreams. Diddy saw her as a bottom bitch, a person that he can use for his freak offs. So to me, it was transactional. And I think that goes more into what the courts are trying to say, that this was a criminal enterprise. I do think it was more of a criminal enterprise when it comes to that. I think that Diddy saw her and was like, okay, I'm going to need to employ her for my freak off. she gonna be my bottom bitch. I think that's the criminal situation. I don't think it was romantic at all. I think maybe he tried to disguise it as romantic, but I don't think it was romantic. And I think she knows it was not romantic. That's my thoughts about it. Do you guys agree with my thought right there? Press 2 if you agree with me. Press 7 if you don't. I do think it's enterprise. I do think it's a criminal thing that he did. I think he employed her as a bottom bitch, honestly. That's just what I see. Okay. All right. So T says Torrance Gigi is a president making the nation and wealthy again due to poor, homeless, and low income and middle class. Okay. I'm in section busy. Where is the crime? Well, the crime is that he employed her to be a prostitute. I don't know if you guys know, but prostitution is illegal. Okay. And I do feel like you prostitutes out there in the OnlyFans page, I think they coming for y'all any minute now. They coming. So you better hurry up and do all you got to do and save and stack, save and stack. But I feel like they coming for y'all in a minute. Okay. So that's what I think. I definitely feel like he hired her to be a prostitute. Press 9 if you agree with that statement. Press 10 if you disagree. Okay, that's just my thoughts. I think that she signed up and she knew what she knew she's a prostitute. She know what this is about. Okay. And just like some pimps, when you're in a relationship with a pimp and you're a hoe, can't pimps get out of control? Can't pimps get real controlling where they want to control you? I think this is what it was. It was a pimp and hoe relationship. That's what it was, man. Okay, that's what it was. It ain't had nothing to do with no puppy love. None of them loved each other. It was all pimp and hoe. That's all it was. If this happens, if all really rich people can imagine, all this rich people, okay. Well, listen, I'm gonna stop here. Did you guys enjoy my commentary on this? If you did, press 3 so I know that you guys enjoyed my commentary. I'm gonna get on out of here. I will be coming back later on today. I do want to talk about the Tory and Megan Thee Stallion situation, and I do want to talk about the DDG and Haley Bailey situation. All right, and I might come back to talk more about the Cassie with the bumps and the disease. I'm not sure yet. Comment, let us know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.